They're locking their dons in, bro.
They said they monitor it more than guns, more than deadly weapons.
They just got their dons in a pen. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sidemen Reacts. Today I'm joined by Zerka and Toad Jizzle. Weird things that only exist in North Korea.
I've watched a lot of these videos recently on React. So I've watched there's one in China, one in
China.
Where else? Dubai.
Do you want to know why it's nice? It's nice because I haven't seen the world in fucking ages. So
Just seeing
doing
it through
for
these
videos.
animations.
Spin that shit.
You're back from vacation and oh boy,
love
you
these
have a lot
animations.
to tell
Yeah, snacks,
everyone
music.
around you.
Living
When
the
you
dream.
announced you were going on vacation, everyone assumed you were thinking of a normal, safe break from normal life. They couldn't believe it when you told them you were not only going to another country, you were traveling to one of the most dangerous spots in the world for tourists.
Did
They
Lux
all
go
had the
North
same
Korea?
question. What on earth
Yeah.
made you want to take a vacation to
crazy.
North
On the
Korea?
border of it, I think.
North Korea is called the Hermit Kingdom for a reason. There's no country on Earth more closely guarded from outside eyes. Ruled since 1948 by the Kim Dynasty and passed down from father to son over three
Kim
generations,
Dynasty.
North Korea is a
Kardashian and that.
totalitarian
Kim season.
communist state.
Bro,
considered
it's been
one of
Kim
the
season for a long time, you know.
Keeping up with the Kims.
Kim season. Yeah, these are the proper Kims, bro.
Ruled according to the principles of Juche, a philosophy translated as self-reliance. It's mostly in the news for military conflicts and missile tests. But few people know about what goes on inside the isolated nation, which is
Bro, I
sandwiched
thought it was a
between
cock.
the powerful nations
Wait,
of
what?
China and South Korea.
bread.
It makes
No,
a lot
wait.
of noise.
Look, when it first came into shot.
See
at the
what you
top,
wanna see before it
when
dips out the
comes
screen.
into frame.
Oh,
No, no.
okay,
I thought
no,
it was a tip.
About what goes
Bro,
on
it's a tip,
inside
bro.
the isolated nation, which is sandwiched between the powerful nations of China and South Korea. It makes a lot of noise for a small nation on a small Asian peninsula, but it's not easy to get inside. And that made you all the more interested to see it for yourself and all the bizarre things that only exist within their borders. The strange
Josh.
North Korean facts begin before you even get in the country, starting with their tourism process. They're the only country in the world where the tourism process is handled entirely through state-controlled bureaus. Companies like Korea International Travel Company and special companies aimed at bringing international athletes to the country approve visitors and lead them on guided tours, with very limited freedom
Jesus.
to explore for yourself. Many countries, including the United States, warn or even prohibit tourists from their country from going to North Korea because of the regime's tendency to arrest foreign tourists for the slightest offense.
Yeah, allow it.
Imagine we go there and go, let's do a
What
hide
are you
and seek.
doing? You get arrested
Next
in
minute
North
we're
Korea. What are you
arrested.
doing? Oh.
Sidemen try not to get arrested in North Korea.
I've been hide and seek in North Korea. We just don't come back ever. Don't post
I
it.
ain't trying to be. No, I'm not trying to hide in North Korea, bro.
No way.
Walking in the wrong area or disrespecting the leader can lead to a lengthy sentence in a North
Yeah, we
Korean
can't let
labor
JJ go
camp.
there.
Most people can apply to visit
Or
North
Harry.
Korea with one major exception based on profession: journalists. The North Korean regime does not want their secrets getting out too easily. Once you entered North Korea as a tourist, the cultural whiplash began quickly. Nothing's like what you expected back home, starting with time itself. North Korea is one of the only countries in the world that doesn't use a standardized calendar based around widespread dates, seasons, and measurements.
do they
Instead, they
do?
have their own
What's
calendar that was adopted in 1997 on the third anniversary of the death of Juche founder Kim Il-sung. Time is marked from his birth, known as Day of the Sun, and the calendar is a combination of historical Korean-era calendars and their Gregorian calendar.
So what date is it
Basically,
then?
North Korean dates only begin in 1912 with the birth of their founder. The current year is
Year
only
zero.
109, and that puts them almost 2,000
Oh,
years
so they're in
behind
year
the rest of
109
us in
right now.
years.
So they're just living
And
on their
so
own
be careful
timeline.
not to make any 2020 vision jokes while visiting. Those guards don't look like they
You
appreciate
go there and tell
funds.
you in year 109.
Bro, what do you mean year zero, bro? No, Kim. No, bro.
It's year 109, bro. Come on.
It's 2021, fam.
Yeah, it's 109.
Kim,
Appreciate
get rid of
puns.
some-
What's the first thing you do when you start a vacation? Probably take a selfie and upload it to all your social media channels. Not when you arrive in North Korea, because the internet,
Oh,
as you know,
hey,
doesn't
what gives?
exist. Think about it. Have you ever chatted with someone from North Korea on Twitter? To even
No.
own a computer in North
Haven't.
Korea, you need to get permission from the government. And
What?
each computer is registered with and strictly tracked by the government, more
Yeah, allow
seriously
it.
than deadly weapons in some places. Few people in North Korea can afford computers, so the
Looks so
easiest
friendly,
way to
though.
access the internet is through computer labs and
The animation, Josh. It's the
but
animation.
don't count on being able to surf all your favorite pages. North Korea has its own private intranet, which runs similarly to the basic internet from the 90s.
I think like
Bro,
internet. They got
they're
internet.
just
It's like being in
locking their
school.
dons in.
It's like being in school. They got
crazy.
intranets.
They're locking their dons in, bro.
They said they monitor it more than guns, more than deadly weapons.
They just got their dons in a pen.
The
Look
thing is,
at it.
they don't know different if you live there, though, right? I guess.
True, yeah, because
Because you're controlled so much, you actually know that the outside world, you'd be like a myth. You'd know.
Do they
like, it
even
doesn't
get to go
exist.
out?
What happens if they get in like a university in London or something? They're gonna have their fucking mind blown.
I don't think they're probably not
don't
allowed
think
to
they do.
apply. Bro, that's
Because
oh.
they wouldn't think, oh, I need to go to London to get a better education. They'd think, oh, the better education's here. Why would it be anywhere else?
Yeah, true. Oh,
Isn't Kim the one that says like he was like an Olympic world wrestling champion and stuff like that? Like,
You know,
he
those
scored-
are myths or not. I always hear like, oh,
Or he scored
North
like
North
20
Korea won the
goals
World
in
Cup. Yeah, and Kim Jong-un scored like a hat
that's what
trick.
I mean. yeah. Isn't he the one that says shit like that, isn't it? And then everyone else
sure.
is just like, oh, cool. Yeah, man like him, you know? Let's go.
To access
Fair play.
around 30 websites, and most of them are government information and propaganda websites running on slow dial-up connections. As a
Dial-up.
tourist, you just have to worry about keeping your head down, not making any waves, and learning what you can about the country. But for those who live here, proving your loyalty to the North Korean regime is a constant process, and you find yourself marked by how loyal you and your family are seen as. Ever since 1957, the population of North Korea has been divided into 3 classes, oddly named after fruits. The tomatoes, the elite class, are called that way because they're red, the color associated with communism
Red
inside
team,
and out.
red team.
Most likely to be politicians and military officers. They have special privileges and are eligible for elite
Called the
positions.
tomatoes.
The apples, the second class, are
Right.
called that
Apple
because they're
juice.
red on the outside but not the inside. Most citizens fall into this class and are seen as needing improvement
Need
and
of
frequent
improvement.
surveillance. But they're better off than the grapes, who are the lawbreakers who committed serious crimes,
Those are the grapes.
scandalous things like making an illegal phone call. Every
Oh.
citizen has their status or a sungbun printed on their identification records, and it influences
Oh my
every
God,
aspect of
so
their
like on your
life,
passport,
from
she says
school
like,
to career.
Josh,
Committing a
grape,
crime
grape.
isn't good anywhere, but if you did it back
Especially
home,
when
you'd
they left
probably
Josh.
be spending some time in jail.
I'm
But
fuming.
you'd be the
Just
only
smell
person
like grape.
it affects. Not so in North
Fucking
Korea,
grape.
where the 3 generations rule means your entire family can pay for your crime. Those who commit a crime against the state are sent to the brutal labor camps for punishment and re-education. But so are up to
so
3
long, man.
generations of their relatives, even if none of them have
3
ever been
generations.
accused of a crime. Even if you were a loyal, patriotic member of North Korean society.
you made a crime today.
So
your
if
kids,
Zerka's a
kids,
grape,
kids.
his great grandkids are grape as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, descendants of the grape.
Oh, shit!
Your kids would also
Are gonna be grapes.
take your punishment for what you've done.
You just have to avoid doing anything that would anger the massive surveillance apparatus that works to track down all enemies of the state at the first sign of
Damn,
trouble.
Big Brother
We hope you didn't
episode.
dress too casually when you came on the trip, because it's very easy to get into legal trouble in North Korea for something as simple as your pants. Blue
Huh?
jeans are
What?
banned in North Korea because they consider them a symbol of American imperialism.
You
But at
Yankee
least you can
imperialists.
easily change your clothing.
Did you say
if you
blue
were a
jeans
resident
are
of
banned?
North Korea, your life
Yeah.
would be strictly controlled, starting with your hair.
Anyway,
in the
black
Hermit
jeans
Kingdom,
anyway.
all residents must have a government-approved hairstyle.
Oh my
One
God.
of 20
Nah,
Unmarried
nah.
women
The
have to
government's
keep
not
their hair
controlling my
short,
trim.
but married women have more freedom. Women play surprising roles in North Korea, including exclusively filling the role of traffic guards. Remember that grumpy old crossing guard when you were going to school? She looked a lot like Grandma,
Yeah, like
but your
Lollipop
grandma never
Lady.
yelled, "Move it along!" quite like that. In North Korea, traffic police are very different. Staffed entirely by young, attractive women under the age of 26, this position has existed since
Isn't
the
that
early
distracting,
days of
the
the
young
regime.
attractive?
Because the country didn't have traffic
Josh.
lights yet,
Well,
they
Josh.
had humans direct traffic. The
Sound a
traffic
little
women of
sus
North
there,
Korea
bro.
are among the most prestigious positions
For God's
people
sake.
aspire to there,
It's
with
26
workers getting
lads.
higher pay, free housing, and even military honors for doing their job well. We're a long way from the intersection
That's
by
older
your
than you.
elementary school. In your spare time, when you're not
Yeah,
being
yeah.
taken
Jeez,
on
come
guided
on.
tours around the country with the other
Athletes and
tourists,
that.
you figured you should take in some leisure activities. You heard a game of basketball was being played locally, and you love that game, but it doesn't take long into play to
missed
realize
the
that
hoop.
this definitely isn't the basketball you
Right, he
know.
missed
It's not
again.
Space Jam, bro.
Game with
Chill.
different rules than anywhere else on the planet. Kim Jong-il had courts installed in all of his palaces, and his son is friends with the NBA bad boy Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
But they've changed major details in the game. 3-pointers are now worth 8 points. Missing a free throw subtracts 1 point from the team's score. And any baskets made in the last 8 seconds are now worth 8 points.
We should try to find all the rules of all the.
Let's play North Korean
Should we do-
basketball. Oh my
And play
god.
North Korean
Sidemen,
sports.
more Sidemen. More Sidemen video playing
Play
North Korean basketball.
sports.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no, not
let's
anymore
do
though,
that.
because
Yeah.
that's just basketball, not anymore.
Shit, alright, let's do it. Yeah, fuck it.
8
Please,
points for a
fucking
3-pointer.
hell.
Everyone's just like
8-pointer.
shooting from range constantly.
Chef who? Chef who?
Finish to the game, but a confusing one for any outsiders watching. Recreation in North Korea is as strange as everything else they do, but the oddness doesn't end when you return to your hotel. You're in a hotel with almost every other tourist in the
Dennis
country
Rodman,
in a
bro.
centralized location, surrounded by
Love
water
the
on an
moves.
island in Pyongyang. The Angakdo Hotel is one of the nicest places in the country, always kept comfortable even when most of the city is without basic comforts like air conditioning. Power goes out regularly in North Korea at night, so much that it can be seen from space as the country goes dark. But you don't have to worry about that. Don't count on enjoying your favorite TV shows though. Like the internet, you can only get a select few TV channels, and they're almost all government propaganda. You were lucky enough to be in North Korea for the biggest event of the year, as the country set the Guinness Book of World Records award for the show with the largest number of participants. That's the Arirang Festival, a massive collection of gymnastics and art exhibits designed to celebrate the North Korean culture and regime, also known as the Arirang Mass Games. They retell an ancient Korean folk story about a young couple torn apart by an evil
is it an actual world record?
romance and anti-capitalism all in one show, perfect for North Korea. Getting selected to participate is a great honor in the country.
Dennis,
but
chill.
the strangest secret of North Korea is one very few people get to see unless they're members of the North Korean military. The Korean Demilitarized Zone, standing between the borders of North and South Korea, is the most heavily guarded zone in the world and has been standing since 1953, when an armistice was signed between the two sides of the Korean War. But an armistice isn't a peace deal, and neither North or South Korea acknowledges the
Kim Jong,
North Korean authorities and the United Nations control, with a small meeting area in the middle for negotiations. But things in the DMZ have been anything but peaceful, as there have been hundreds of small conflicts between the two sides, resulting in over 1,000 deaths among the soldiers stationed to guard it. But just because it's the most heavily guarded location on the planet doesn't mean North Korea is letting their propaganda games slip. Large loudspeakers installed on the North Korean side broadcast messages toward the other side, with South Korea sending their own right back. They also send balloons with leaflets attached across the border. These
you suck!
ended in 2018 when a no-fly zone was established for the DMZ as an attempt to decrease tensions. But one unique propaganda effort is still standing. Not that it's easy to see unless you're living close to the DMZ. When South Korea built a village on their side of the DMZ with 226 residents to show North Koreans why they should defect, North Korea decided to build one of their own. It's a fully furnished town called Peace Village, filled with houses, schools, and hospitals. But it's missing only one thing: people.
Yeah.
North Korea claims that it houses 200 people, but no one has ever seen anyone there. And close observers say there are a lot of giveaways that the village is a shell. The houses don't have glass installed in the windows, and the lights seem to turn on and off on an automatic cycle. They did briefly have the world's tallest flagpole, designed to eclipse the South Korean one, but now the only time anyone comes into the empty village is to keep it looking fresh and clean. You saw a lot of bizarre things in North Korea, and you can't wait to share them with all your worried friends and family, now that you can access the internet again.
That bit at the end is essentially saying, I'm nicer than you. No, I'm nicer than you.
It is kind of intriguing because it's like, it's so unique.
I can safely say, I don't think I ever want to go there. So.
Sure.
Same. I
Maybe
don't
Boris
think
would
maybe
maybe Boris
you know.
knock us down like that.
He couldn't do it.
Because then could like England could win the World Cup every single time.
Score 68 hat tricks.
Boris scores a bicycle kick every game.
10 8-pointers from the corner flag.
Alright, like the video, you lot. Bye.